All right, guys, you know what time it is. It is the best weekend of football of the year. It's the divisional playoff rounds. And I'm joined as always by my good friend Colum. How are you, sir? Welcome back to your native country of Ireland. I'm sure you were sorely missed by Sheriff, your lovely dog.
Yeah, look, you are absolutely spot on when you say that this is the best weekend of the year for football because you get four games and they're proper quality games, and I think we will see that this weekend. Intriguing matchups, some injuries to keep an eye on, but everybody going in to this weekend will think, why not us? And I think that's fair. And there are some teams with a lot more pressure than others. But everybody will think we are one game away from a championship, two games away from a Super Bowl. Lay it all on the line this weekend.
I was watching a lot of tape yesterday and just trying to get caught up on all the teams, and it was kind of neat seeing. It's kind of a weekend of new faces, new shiny little faces. And as my niece Lena said, she thinks that Josh Allen's going to shine because he's so handsome or something, and I just want to slap her in the face. But she said that. But I mean, other than Josh Allen and I guess you could say Stafford, it's a new breed out there, right? I mean, we've got three of the quarterbacks from the 2024 draft, which is great to see for Bo Nix fans like us, and a Drake May, and of course the Bears with Caleb Williams. That makes it interesting as well, does it not?
It does indeed. And who knows? We'll get to it in a little bit, but we may see a former Broncos QB take
Oh my
take to
God,
the
we'll get
field.
to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to that. So yeah, lots of QB intrigue, and QBs. I think we talk a lot about it on the Spin Zone, Mike, about the media narratives on stuff. But with media narratives, there's legacies on the line this weekend for Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, and the aforementioned or unmentioned Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it'll be apparently Sam Darnold hasn't thrown a pass since that injury announcement. But we're going to get through this. This is a quick primer for you, just for everybody watching. Thank you again, as always, for tuning in. Get in the chat with your predictions if you have them, and I'll get to them eventually here today. But we are going to get through this one quick because we're going to, at 2:00, we're doing it'll be 1:00 Mountain. We're doing a full breakdown on this game column, which interests us probably the most. Maybe the Texans and Patriots would be second most for us because that's the AFC. We'll see how today goes. This game, a lot of people are considering this the Josh Allen versus Bo Nix game, but to me, it's more Josh Allen versus Vance Joseph game. What are your initial thoughts on this game? I guess your overall thoughts and how do you see this playing out?
Well, the Broncos opened up as the home underdog, and more than that, obviously they opened up as the number one seed underdog. I think the Broncos will like that. I think that's bulletin board material for Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I think you've also seen this happen just a few times in the past, and in those occasions, it was the underdog who came through. So the Broncos will certainly be hoping that that is the case again. Both teams, can look at this and can feel that they can win this game. The Broncos have that vaunted defense. They have the ability to get to the QB, and I think it was CBS, maybe I had the graphic up yesterday. No, it was Kay Adams had it about, if you hit Josh Allen, you can get Josh Allen 6 times, chances are you will win. You got to get to him though.
Broncos average 9 quarterback hits a game.
And that's what they should be aiming to do. I mean, we saw it last week. He got hit repeatedly. He was beaten up. He lost receivers. but he found a way to win. And we'll delve in more on, on the full Broncos preview show. But if you are a Denver Broncos fan, however long you've been watching, or if know the history of the Broncos franchise, or if you watched the recent Netflix special on John Elway, you know that a QB with almost superhuman abilities can carry a team to a Super Bowl. We saw it time and time again in the Mile High City. And John Elway dragged worse teams, much worse rosters than this Bills one, to Super Bowls for the Broncos. Josh Allen is the closest thing I have seen to John Elway since Elway retired, and that has got to be a concern if you are a Broncos fan.
Yeah, certainly injuries are a bigger factor in this game for the Bills. The Denver Broncos are, I guess, completely healthy, other than Brandon Jones, who's gone for the year or maybe till the Super Bowl, and Dobbins. But yeah, Josh Allen will definitely have to carry this team, and I think he'll come close to doing it. Like I said, we're gonna roll through these pretty quick. I think that it being at home, I think the bye week is super important, especially after what the Bills went through in that Jags game. And this is a different game than it was. Like, a lot of people want to talk about last year's playoff game against the Bills. And people forget, I think that the way that we reshaped a bit of our defense was because of that game. If you remember last year, our starting linebackers were like Cody Barton and Sternad, and PJ Locke was our down safety. And this year it's Greenlaw, Singleton, and Hufanga. So James Cook is going to have to run against that. And I think Josh Allen, with only 3 wide receivers now, Kincaid and was it the other tight end, certainly could have a game against the Broncos, because, as you know, we famously struggle against tight ends, although we've been better this year, Colum.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're set up better to beat them this year. I'm taking the Broncos here. The over under is like 48, 47. I agree with what Tanner said here. If the game's close, the Broncos win, high scoring, I'm going to get worried. I kind of agree with that. And his other one, stop the run and we win. I think that is the key for me. I think the Broncos will take care of business, something like 24-20. Go ahead.
On Dublin to Denver, I was hopeful that the Broncos would win. Ed Oliver has since been made active. That is a concern. I think this could well come down to it will be very interesting to see, bringing in Hufanga, the changes that we have made, because last year, and I know Broncos fans, I get it, right? You point to the fact that at halftime it was so close, but the Bills were toying with us last year. I mean, you look at what they did. Allen was 20 of 26, and they had 3 guys, including Allen, who were averaging 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically were doing whatever they wanted last year. That won't be the case this year. But you cannot ignore Josh Allen. You cannot ignore the Superman cape.
What if I want to?
You just over your shoulder there, your left shoulder, is the greatest high school athlete of all time, one of the greatest college athletes of all time, and an absolutely legendary NFL QB. It took a little bit of time for him to ultimately get the ring. I have real fears, Michael Carmelini, that we might have a similar sort of individual in Buffalo.
Make your pick. What?
I don't want to be right, but I have a horrible feeling that the running back room is going to come to haunt the Denver Broncos. I want the Broncos to win. I desperately want the Broncos to win. I can't get away from Josh Allen. I think that they edge it. I think we're left brokenhearted. I think that might be good for us next year, but I think the Bills win this 29-27.
That's it. I'm kicking him off the show. He's gone. We're not putting up with that slander on this show. The Bills are giving up 5.1 yards per carry. If the Broncos can't run against this team, then
because they haven't had to deal, like we have a running back room made up of hobbits.
Okay, 5'8" is plenty tall enough. I'm 6 feet tall, but 180.
No,
I know what you're going to say. Save it for the next show.
Barry Sanders makes these guys look diminutive.
Oh, this is the RJ Harvey, who's averaged 2.4 yards per carry over the last 2 weeks, will be your starting running back, and he's going to break at least 2 of them off for touchdowns.
Please,
win.
I hope you're right.
I know you do. Let's move on before you break all my viewers are going to just disappear now, thanks to you. 49ers Seahawks. The Drew Lock Bowl, I mean, is is this a possibility? Could this be happening? And just imagine the hate watch and love watch from the Front Range if this occurs. Colum, 49ers are kind of like an upstart team all of a sudden. It's weird, isn't it? Perennial great to upstart. What do you see here?
I mean, up to this time yesterday, I thought, plucky 49ers were going to go in there. They're going to try and give the Seahawks a bloody nose, but ultimately the Seahawks are going to have too much for them. Mike, this is a real issue. Like, he hasn't thrown a football, and they can try to avoid that question all they want, but he hasn't thrown it. And the best book that needs to be written in the NFL is the true book about John Elway. The First Amendment is needed to write. The second book, and this should be studied, is what Patrick Smythe and the Broncos PR team did to create the Frankenstein monster that was Drew Lock in the spring of 2020, which had people believing he was a good QB. If the Seahawks have to start or Drew Lock plays for a significant portion of this game, they're in real trouble, because as beaten up, and they were basically pulling guys off the street for the 49ers, that will be a real issue. And Kyle Shanahan is a gifted coach. But, I don't believe in the electromagnetic field nonsense. The 49ers have been training at the same facility.
Thank you for that.
For years. They've just had a couple of bad years. They almost went to it at full strength in 2023. Granted, Greenlaw goes down in the Super Bowl. They've just had a couple of bad years. I mean, it would be, as a Broncos fan, as a Mike Shanahan fan, and it was funny. I think I saw some Steelers fans arguing about Mike Tomlin coaching tree and all of the different coaching trees, and I'm like, look at Mike Shanahan's. It's phenomenal. I would like to see the 49ers do it for Kyle. I think he has learned, he's been humbled and he's learned from the Super Bowl losses. They're just, they're very beaten up, but we won't know until the game starts whether Sam Darnold can throw the football or not. If Drew Lock plays a significant portion of this game, I'm going to say the 49ers win. If they can give him all that Percocet, that they can get him out there and he can chuck the rock enough, the Seahawks at home should take care of a really depleted 49ers unit who lost George Kittle as well last week. But it will be very interesting to
Yeah.
see the first couple of drives for the Seahawks.
I'd be shocked if Darnold doesn't play. And oblique.
He starts, but can he play?
Well, you've said it before. Percocet, Darvocet, heroin, whatever they'll shoot into him. It's more of a pain tolerance injury, I think, than it'll be a functional injury for him. I mean, of course, those guys throw with their hips and their feet. We all know that. If you've been watching football long enough, you learn that it's not. We always say arm strength, but a lot of it is from the lower body and the torso. And so it could be an issue, but I see no reason why he doesn't play. This might be some gamesmanship. And he's injured, but they're not going to walk Drew Lock out there unless this guy just absolutely cannot play. I'd be shocked. But, I mean, they've got a 1,000-yard rusher, and they've got a 1,800-yard receiver. What can Drew Lock do with those guys? He's going to throw interceptions is what he's going to do. You're probably right. It's hard to call a game if you don't know. I have the Seahawks winning this game without issue. As much as I'd love to see the 49ers win, I think Seahawks are just going to be too much. They're at home, tough place to play. It's going to be a very tough place to play today. And I'm thinking it's going to be, I don't know what the over is on it. 46.5. Seahawks are still favored by 7. I think that people know that he's going to play, and I'm thinking it's going to be something like 34-28 or something like that.
Yeah, if he can toss it, then yeah, I do think you're right. But I think it just popped up out of nowhere. That's what would be very concerning if I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm watching that. So yeah, let's see. You got to expect the Seahawks to do it, but there is that giant asterisk until we see Sam Darnold actually tossing the ball. But I expect a heavy dose of the run game from the Seahawks.
Yeah, I need to amend my score prediction now that I think about it, because for that reason and just injuries on both sides. And then didn't they play?
They did, and the Seahawks absolutely shut McCaffrey down just a few weeks ago.
13-3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't think this will be a high scoring game at the best of times.
I'll go 17-10. I'm gonna go 17-10 Seahawks, and just in case, it's like Drew Lock season, baby. Yeah, no doubt about that. It could be, and oh my gosh, now let me ask you a question, Colum. Before you pick the game, if they march Drew Lock out there, are you hate watching, or are you just interested watching, or are you?
Oh, I'm like a guy with a sore tooth. I can't stop touching. I'd be ow, Drew. Oh, look, what stupid thing has Drew Lock done on this play?
Oh my gosh, he's got to be like 30 years old now. Has he not grown out of that by now? I mean, Sam Darnold did. You never know. That's probably why they brought him in. They're like, well, if we can fix Sam Darnold, we can fix anybody.
Sam Darnold was an absolute top prospect. Drew Lock was not that. Anyway,
I'd still be rooting for Drew to do well.
I think the frustrating thing at this time of the year, I suppose, and it's understandable because is when you lose people through injury. So this would be a fascinating matchup in the playoffs if they were at full strength.
Yeah.
But you got to take it as it comes.
Well, make your way. Well, what's it going to be? Seahawks.
It's the Seahawks, but this could be a soccer score. I
Okay.
mean, like because they're just going to run the ball and they'll look to shut McCaffrey down, and so I'm going to say he has enough. I really want to see the 49ers do it, but no, the Seahawks win it like, you know, 12-9.
Wow, love it. Defensive struggles. All right, let's go. This one could mean a lot, could mean nothing to the Broncos. It is the Houston Texans. This would be a Sunday game. At the Patriots, could be a weather game too. 14-3 Patriots, 12-5 Texans. That Texans defense showed out very strong last week, but that was against a team you would expect them to do that with. So New England on a bye. It's so weird. Like, I don't know what to expect from the Patriots against this defense. I think some big plays might be there for them, and they're going to have to take them. But on a down-to-down basis, this is going to be tough sledding for the Pats.
Yeah, like seriously. I mean, I think they're a very different defense, obviously, to the Broncos no-fly zone, to the Ravens defense. But I think we actually we have our own sports, and because I'm not a Brit,
That's right.
The Brits call it football. No,
Yeah, the Brits are crazy. The Irishmen
they
are
are.
actually they're like we're like all the same. We just have they call them pubs and we call them bars. It's the only difference.
Yeah. But I have never seen a defense rally to the ball, Mike, like this Texans team. I mean, they are. I know they were going against 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers last week, but they're a special defense. They play for their head coach, and we talked about it last week. And yeah, the Steelers went out. You heard about it afterwards. About all the players crying when Tomlin. They play hard for Tomlin. I don't think there's a team that plays for a head coach in the way that DeMeco Ryan's players play for him. Now, they have CJ Stroud, who appears to be channeling his inner Drew Lock. Certainly last week.
Oh my God, what a Drew Lock hater you are.
Error after error after error. And then the goofiness after the game as if he had something to do with winning it. Buddy, that your defense dug you out of a hole. Any other defense, and I probably include even ours, if a QB played that badly, there's no way they would win, let alone win on the road against the Steelers. I think the Patriots are not going to know what hit them. And I don't think the weather is going to matter. I think I think Drake May is very, very good, but I don't think that they have come up against this level of intensity. And I think the Texans will bring that. And I think this is going to be the Texans who are going to surprise the Patriots, are going to go into Patriot Place, into Foxborough, and they are going to keep Talib Stoll change. The Texans are going to steal the Patriots' souls.
Wow. Nico Collins is out, their best receiver. So they will have to win it on defense, which they've been doing all year. I would not be shocked if it, excuse me, if it plays out that way. And maybe I'm putting a little bit too much on home field, the cold weather. If it's a running kind of game, you're right, it won't matter. But that defense is the equalizer there. I'm leaning. Gosh, I want to agree with you so bad, but I picked the Pats to win. I'm going to stick with it. I think they'll find a way. I think Drake May might be better than some people think outside of New England. I happen to think he's fantastic.
Oh, he is.
I think he's well coached, and I think he's very dangerous with his legs. I'd like to see him. Now's the time to risk it. We'll talk about Bo Nix in that game plan on the Monster Show here in about half hour or so. But I think it's the same thing with Drake. If they can get him going, the competition hasn't really been there for them. They haven't seen anything like this, but I just think they're just well coached. They're gonna be prepared. They know what's coming, and I'm not buying into CJ in this game. I'm even though they put up like 38 and 30 points, 20, 23, 40, they've been putting up some points over there. I think it's a different game. I think 16, 14, 17, 14, something like that. Patriots get a win. Get out of there. Low scoring affair.
I think it'll be relatively low scoring, but I think that the Texans are going to shut the Patriots down, and it's not going to be on Drake May. Although media narratives will try and do that. I just think they're so talented, and I think their ability to run the ball is really fantastic as well. And in a cold weather game, that could well come into it.
This might be the most we've ever disagreed. I think we've only got one in common so far, but to be fair, it's not, there's not 32 teams playing, so we've only got so many to go. Last game up, Rams versus Bears. Now, I thought the Pack should have been here. I don't like the way that it didn't happen, but I will give credit to Caleb for just making incredible plays at the end of that game. That was an exciting game. I thought for sure the Pack was going to win that game there towards the end, and that was the reason I went 5-1 instead of 6-0 on my picks. Now the Rams are obviously favored at the Bears, which is again another slight like the Broncos. But I do see the Rams as the better team here. I think it'll be close. I think it could be exciting at the end. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Matt Stafford. And, of course, Puka is on that team, who's just crazy. I think they're going to find a way to get it done. I haven't really seen what the weather is. But, yeah, what are you seeing there? I don't see a whole lot on the injury front that scares me. Of course, I don't know a lot of these players anyway. Don't follow either team very closely, but I'm sure you do.
I mean, this is obviously certainly the media want to make this into Ben Johnson versus Sean McVay. Peter Schrager had Bill Simmons on yesterday, and this is what he spent his entire time talking about. I think that it's a fascinating matchup because they are both super intense individuals, but they've very different philosophies in many respects, and I think you've very different QBs in Stafford and in Caleb Williams. I think that, I mean, it's tough to know because Schrager is the Bob Woodward of the NFL, in that he Bob Woodward was
who's the Bernstein?
Yeah, well, yeah. We
don't have one.
Bob Woodward post Watergate, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
All right. The books and the access and we see that certainly when it comes to the way in which Schrager, like if Schrager, because he went so heavy on this. I mean, if the Rams are that obsessed with beating them, I think that would be. And I think that would be to the Bears' advantage massively. To get that focused on Ben Johnson and to kind of lose sight of a Bears team who have really been building over the second half of the season. And the thing about the Bears, I suppose, Mike, is that they, they do have the ability to run the football. When you have your running backs combine for more than 1,800 yards, that is significant. And you have in Caleb Williams somebody who is still learning, still will make mistakes, right? Does and will continue to make mistakes, but also has the ability, a bit like Stafford, to go and make magic happen out of nowhere. Like Caleb Williams, some of the
Yeah.
throws last week were just sensational. You kind of
Yeah.
went, how is he generating that level of power off of where he's placed? And I think if you are the Bears, you're going to look at what the Panthers were able to do against the Rams, and you're going to take a lot of heart from that. If you were to judge, I think just based on the rosters, I think this would be the Rams. All ends up, but that isn't how the NFL works, and it being at Soldier Field. Now, I haven't seen whether Ben Johnson was doing what Sean Payton was doing all week and advocating, for fans to make as much noise as possible when the opposition are entering the huddle. Hopefully, anyone watching this, I don't know if anyone's watching this while tailgating, but please do that tonight.
They know. They've been told.
I do think, the Bears are more success starved than we are, much more success starved than we are. I think it'll be raucous in there tonight or tomorrow night, and I think that could play a real factor.
Yeah. The Bears have put up 31, 22, 38, 16 against Detroit, and then 31 against Green Bay. And then the Rams have given up 31, 20, 24, 37, 34. High scoring game possible. Both teams scoring at will. You're talking a lot about defense, but I don't see a lot of defense being played by either team.
This, I think, is the game. If there's going to be a high-scoring game this weekend, now we could always be surprised, but I think this could well be it. I think this could be a true shootout in Chicago.
It could be fun. Yeah, this could be the fun game if you're just watching for a fun game. This could be one of them. Not a Bears fan. I like the Rams had LaFleur come in and help them game plan against Ben Johnson and all that. I mean, there's some drama here that I like, but I do like Sean McVay. I like Matt Stafford. I like them in this game as a road favorite. But again, I think with all of these games, the only one, I guess, given you give me a healthy Sam Darnold in the Seahawks game, that would be the only game that could shock me if the 49ers beat them. Mm-hmm. But this one, I wouldn't be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised Texans, Patriots, Broncos, Bills. Nothing's going to shock me based on the win or loss of any of these games. This one, I think I would kind of be surprised if the Bears won this game. I think everything for me points to the Rams. Big game, big coaches, Matt Stafford, MVP type player. We'll see, but I'm taking Rams, and I'm going 37-31. High scoring game.
We are diverging on this show because I am going to say that the Bears do surprise.
Love it.
I'm going to say that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson do another number on.
Do they shake hands after the game?
through gritted teeth, I think they will. But I think that they I agree. Logic says this should be the Rams, right? Stafford, Nakua, the experience they have, McVay, but the Bears they've been long suffering for so long. The season started off so poorly for them. I think you have a guy in Ben Johnson and in Caleb Williams who can change the sad and tragic history of that franchise ever since 85. And I think that they will end up going to the championship game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a similar score but reversed, where the Bears won 37-31.
Good heavens. You know what? At least we made everybody watching somebody pick their team to win. So like nobody got left out. So hopefully I won't get too many nasty comments about how I underestimate somebody's team or whatnot. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend of football. Yeah, we're just split right down the middle pretty much. We'll see what happens with the Drew Lock Bowl. We'll find out after the Broncos Bills game. So if you're watching for the first time, please subscribe and like to the show. Helps us out a ton. We're growing like crazy. Don't forget the Spin Zone and the Dublin to Denver podcast with our good friend Colum and Stephen Roche. We will be back in about 25 minutes for Broncos fans for a breakdown and primer for the big game with the Bills coming to town, where Colum is not going to pick the Bills on that show because I have my finger on the button. But until next time, have a great weekend, everyone. For Colum, we just appreciate everybody watching. Best of luck to your teams. But we're completely neutral here, so whatever team you're on. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.